The iPhone 13 is here, and this is actually an iPhone 13 Pro Max. So the first thing I wanted to find out is, how does the size and weight of this phone compare to the previous models? So today I'm going to compare and contrast different size phones from earliest to present. This is an 8 Plus, this is a XS Max, 11 Pro Max, 12 Pro Max, and the new 13 Pro Max. They all look very similar, but if you went from the 11 Pro Max to the 12 Pro Max, you know that that was actually a pretty big jump in size. So if you're now considering the 13 Pro Max and you're using one of these older phones, an 8 Plus or a XS Max or even 11 Pro Max, for some they like it, and for others it's just too big. But as a filmmaker, for me, I like the plus size, max size phones for sure. So here's the 13 Pro Max and here's the 8 Plus. Beyond just the difference in the actual design, this has a flatter square edge, this is a rounder edge. You can most likely see that this phone is a quarter inch or so bigger. It just feels heavier in the hand too. XS Max, very similar to the 8 Plus. Camera bump obviously has gotten dramatically bigger as the phones have gotten newer. Now the 11 Pro Max you would think was pretty similar. This was the first triple camera phone, but in reality it's much different. Look at the camera bump. And then not only that, again, just the phone size. This one's thinner and not quite as tall. And again, this has the rounded edges and this is the flat square edges. This just feels heftier in your hand than this one. As a matter of fact, the last 2 years, I've used the 11 Pro Max as my daily driver, even though I had the 12 Pro Max. The 12 Pro Max is very reminiscent to the 13 Pro, but here it is against the 11, back to back. You can see the 12 Pro Max has, what is that, maybe 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch taller, and it's thicker as well. Better battery life though, and obviously bigger and better cameras, etc. And so you have to take the good with the bad. Although, again, for filmmaking, I really think the larger phones are better. Yeah, they're not as comfortable in your pocket perhaps, but I've gotten used to it. And then the 12 versus the 13. Very subtle changes in the actual body. The body itself, I think, is pretty much exactly the same. The camera bump though, this is the 13, Sierra Blue, and this is the 12. The camera bump is bigger on the 13. And so what that means, of course, is a lot of the accessories we have for the 12 Pro Max will not work with the 13 Pro Max, which is a shame. Good for the accessory makers to make more money. Bad for us as customers because we have to update our gear within 1 year, which is not great. But otherwise, again, the phones are very similar. Size-wise, they both have the same flat edges that are rounded around the corners, but flat against the body. If you're going from one of these previous phones, it will feel like a pretty big jump in size, even though when you look at them side by side here, they're very similar. All right, now I'm gonna weigh each one. This is the 8 Pro Max, a little bit under 8 ounces, so about 200 gram range. I guess I said 8 Pro Max, I meant 8 Plus. That's the XS Max, and that is just under 8 ounces, so probably around 220 grams. 11 Pro Max. That is right on just over 8 ounces. That's about what, 220-ish grams, maybe 225. 12 Pro Max. All right, that's about 8.2 ounces, roughly 8.1 to 8.2 ounces. So 226, maybe 230 grams. And now the 13 Pro Max. That is, 8.3, 8.4 ounces range, so 235 grams. I'll put it on the screen here. Can't do my math right now. So the 13 Pro Max is by far the heaviest, and you will notice that especially when using a gimbal or even just carrying it in your pocket. But overall, the 12 Pro Max and the 13 Pro Max are very similar weight. The 13 Pro Max is 5 or 10 grams heavier though. And one more quick look at something related to size, and that is cases. Now we know that the camera bump on the new phone is bigger. And so when it comes to cases that allow lenses to attach to these, those will have to be different. But what about regular cases? This is a 12 Pro Max, this is the 13 Pro Max. This is a 12 Pro Max case from Moment that is just a regular case. Doesn't attach lenses. You can if you put the plastic insert in there, but for the demo purposes, let's see. I have not tested this either, so we're finding out together. Will this work? And the answer is yes. It fits fine. Now the buttons, I don't know for sure. They look like they're pretty closely aligned. Lightning, everything on the bottom here looks good. Speaker holes look good. Yep. And so if you have a 12 Pro Max case, it appears that it will work under certain conditions. Again, if you were attaching lenses to the Moment case, like with this one, that would not work. I'll go ahead and demo it just to show you. The case itself fits fine, or fits okay. But it covers the lenses right here. So that's not recommended because you don't want to scratch up your new expensive phone. But the case itself, you can definitely use that. Look for more videos coming soon comparing this phone to the 12 Pro Max and testing out all its features, including cinematic mode. And keep in mind that all this is through the point of view of mobile video and filmmaking. Thanks for watching, guys. This is Blake Calhoun. Please like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.